All right, what's good, people, man? I just wanted to drop in really quick, man, and give my thoughts on the news that we've just received here today, March the 10th, 2020. Let's take note of that date, man, because maybe we'll come back and we'll say how great of a date this was in the future, or maybe we'll come back and say that this date wasn't as significant as we thought. We'll see. But anyway, man, just to chime in really quick, we'll definitely jump into this as well, man, on Thursday with myself and Smitty when we do the Sim Standard podcast. But I've seen a lot of people asking me about it already. And you guys know I'm not as, available, I guess you would say. I don't frequently, visit Twitter as often, as I used to. People were sending me texts today to let me know what happened. So I jumped on Twitter and I saw the news. So anyway, 2K announces that they have a partnership in place with the NFL, and they basically say for several years. First of all, that's great news. And let me explain to you why it is great news. We're going to tackle that part of it first, and then we'll tackle the negative part second. It's great news for the main reason: competition. Competition. That's the main reason why it's great news, right? You finally get a situation where EA Sports will have to go head to head, maybe not head to head, but they'll have to face off against 2K in the football space once again. We all remember when, there was an NFL2K 5, which a lot of us will regard that as one of the best, if not the best, football experiences of all time. Along with Madden 05. At that time, both games were great. And you picked whichever one you preferred, and some people played both, etc., etc. Great news. But here's the negative. They come right out and they say that it's a non-simulation. Those words alone concern me a little bit. And let me explain to you why. NBA 2K advertises itself as the best simulation basketball game, or, best simulation hardwood floor game, whatever they call it. But you guys know what I'm saying. That's part of their slogan for the most part, is the most authentic basketball game that you can find, etc., etc. And we're talking about facing off against NBA Live, and come on, let's face it. Yeah, they are the best game, and and I'm just saying, even if they weren't good, that's still really the more authentic game regardless. So however you feel about 2K basketball, me personally, I do think it is one of the best sports simulations we had. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. No game is. But for as many of us that feel like 2K is a simulation sports game, there's people out there that continue to say it's not. So it all depends on what you determine to be simulation in your mind. But on the surface, yes, NBA 2K is the best sports basketball game that we've seen. Might be, in talks of being the best sports simulation game. If you compare it to MLB The Show, depending on how you feel about that and other games alike. But clearly you could say that NBA 2K is one of the best. But let me get back to my point. They basically advertise that as an authentic simulation experience. You don't really hear 2K say things like non-simulation, right? So the fact that they are emphasizing that lets me know that this is not going to be the game that we expect. It's not going to be the beloved NFL 2K series as we once knew it. 2K5 being the last product, 2K8 being the last, simulation style football game from 2K. The only reason why I say simulation style is it wasn't a pure simulation in this regard, as it didn't have the NFL teams, etc., etc. But we talk about gameplay here. Top-notch gameplay, just like 2K5 was. This concerns me, guys, listening to what they're advertising. Okay? The fact that it's non-simulation. However, the good news is that this could be a win-win for all of us. And how, you might say? Well, this is how I look at it. One or two things will happen with 2K getting back in the race at some capacity. Number one, the fact that 2K is able to even have a relationship with the NFL, that might shake some things up at EA. And for the next 2 years, while they still have the exclusive license for the simulation product, it will allow those who make the decisions, those at the top, beyond the devs, to say, let's go balls to the wall and make the best possible game we can and reclaim the throne in terms of public opinion. Hopefully that happens. I would love that. I would love for 2K's presence to push EA to be the best product that it could possibly be. Because again, remember, we don't know if 2K is going to get a chance to come back as a simulation product. We don't know that. So right now, I'm hoping at the very least, it pushes Madden to be the best possible Madden. Or, what could happen, everything will stay status quo. Madden will continue to do what they're doing and at the pace that they do it. And 2K, the product that they are producing, becomes more popular and more successful than anybody anticipated. And then the NFL decides, you know what, they did a great job for the last 2 years. Let's allow them to get back into the simulation space. So either way, I look at it as a win-win. I would love for that to happen. I would love for 2K to be making a football game at the same level as Madden, level meaning that they're both able to do the same things. Because we all saw and we all know how that panned out back in 2K5. We all know how that situation panned out, right? So you would want that to be the case. We shall see. But at the end of the day, the fact that some of you guys are already out there going crazy and over-analyzing it, I don't understand that. I don't understand that when you don't have the facts. Why don't we wait and see what transpires before we go crazy? Because again, they're basically telling you this is not the simulation product that you want. They're just letting you know that they have something in store, which will probably be more like NBA playgrounds, but on an NFL level. So that's all I'm saying. I feel like sometimes in this community, we're overly optimistic, sometimes overly pessimistic, and not enough being overly realistic. And that's just how I feel. So like I said, man, we'll dive more into this on Thursday. I'm so glad this topic came out of this clear blue sky, because now we'll have some things to talk about. And for you guys that don't know, on Thursdays, or most Thursdays, not every Thursday here lately, but on most Thursdays, myself and Smitty, we do the Sim Standard podcast. We usually talk about Madden and any other gaming, things that are important, but we'll dive deep into it because I can't wait to hear his take as well, and some of you guys in the chat. But that's all I got, man. And just to give you a quick summary, again, this is great news, but pay attention to the news. Read the fine print. Don't go overly crazy by what you are speculating. Speculating doesn't do anything for anybody. But we shall see. But all right, outside of that, man, make sure you follow what you're seeing on the screen right now. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.